I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I'm just like, you know, I'm somebody that just always gravitated towards the sitcoms where they had prominent dads and stuff like that, and TV shows, prominent black dads and stuff. Like some of my favorite shows would be, of course, I like Martin, but there was no prominent dads in there. But like Fresh Prince, Family Matters, Everybody Hates Chris, My Wife and Kids, even Run's House, Run's House. That was one of my favorite joints right there. The Cosby Show being my favorite of all time. Like, and it was really me, like as a kid, going like trying to figure out how do you be a dad? Like how you be a good dad? And I ain't have no kids young, but I just always was into that. Like, no, what the good dads out here doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to see that. Because like I said, my family, they got their stuff together now, but back then they didn't have their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking like, so I always been into that. And I just felt like that was such good representation, because I do feel like my generation is doing a good job at fathering. My generation of men, black men, we do a good job at fathering, even though people don't want to really give us credit for it. I think we do a good job at fathering, even though the generation that came before us was off the chain. They wasn't, a lot of them didn't do what they were supposed to do. And a lot of us still figured it out. You got, you seeing more dads, more black dads picking kids up from school, picking kids up from daycare than ever in the history of ever. That's my generation that did that. And people don't like to, if we do something wrong, or if a lot of us do something wrong, they don't hesitate to point it out and throw it in our face and and throw it in people's face who's not even doing it, but throw in our face all the negative stuff. But you rarely hear them talk about how good of fathers we are as a generation. You have some bad ones everywhere, but as a generation, we have some great dads, and a lot of us had to learn that shit from TV. You see what I'm saying? We had to learn from TV. You had to, you get your comedy side, you get your serious, like give your kid a speech side. From all these shows, you could just pick up a little bit from all. That's what I was doing anyway. I pick up a little bit from all these shows because these was all like good role models. You know what I'm saying? You got a different role models for different stuff, and them shows I'm talking about, them was like fathering role models right there for me. But one thing I realized that I didn't have, or I never desired, like I wasn't looking for a model for this, was that relationship piece. You know what I'm saying? I never seen anything and was like, oh, I want to like model being a good boyfriend after this. I want to model being a good husband after this. I didn't have no example of that. So even when I seen shows like The Cosby Show and Fresh Prince and Family Matters, all this type of stuff, yes, they was married, but you didn't really see the reality of their marriage. You couldn't really, it was mostly for entertainment. A lot of it was interacting with their kids, way more fatherhood stuff than it was relationship stuff. So it wasn't really a whole lot you could pick up. Plus, when you're in a real relationship, it's so different than what, like, fatherhood looks like fatherhood pretty much everywhere. As long as you have stability, you can mirror other situations and scenarios. But relationships, there's too many different factors, I feel like. So it's like you really need a good example in your face every day, really. And not having that, I feel like I'm like, damn, I didn't really know what to do in a relationship. Like that was like a cold-blooded thing right there for me. And I didn't even realize there was anything lacking as far as that go until until now. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much now like that. I don't even know what to do. You see what I'm saying? I feel like there's other people that probably feel the same way, and other people might look at it like, yo, you too old to use that as an excuse or whatever like that. And it ain't really an excuse, because I really, until now, I didn't even care that I didn't have no examples. I don't feel like it was anything wrong. I'm just saying that I'm just realizing it, that I didn't have no examples. I'm not saying that I use that as an excuse to do anything. But there are people who will say, "Oh, that's you should have learned." But I don't even know where there's no right way to do a relationship. So where are you supposed to learn it from? You see what I'm saying? Or not no right way, but there's no one right way to do relationships right. So it's like, where you learn it from? You know what I'm saying? If you don't learn it growing up, not to say I didn't see relationships, I didn't see relationships that I would consider healthy. If I emulated what I seen growing up, I would be in a worse situation than I'm in. So, but yeah, it's like if you come from a situation like that, then where do you learn relationships at? Really, you have to hope that you get with a partner who's patient enough to teach you what they learned from their parents. You might be somebody like me who didn't grow up in a 2-parent household like two of my parents' household, but I could get with somebody else who did have 2 parents, and then they could teach me what they learned. You know what I'm saying? So people that come from environments like us, like me, that really would be the only way for us to learn something like that. You see what I'm saying? For you to get with somebody and they teach you. Other than that, you're just gonna suck at relationships. You might not suck, but you're gonna be winging it for a long time. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't talk enough about, because everybody just thinks that they do relationships the right way. And especially so many single people. They think everybody that they was with was just wrong and they were in the right. And you should have got with my program and we'll still be together type of thing. That's how a lot of people look at it. And it rarely do people look at it and say, I'm just not good at this because I never learned how to be good at it. You could teach yourself how to be a good carpenter. You could teach yourself how to be a good basketball player. But the thing about, you can't teach yourself how to be a good person in a relationship, because it is too dependent on what the other person thinks of your behavior. See what I'm saying? It's not an I in that team. There's an ME though. But yeah, I did just want to say that, man, because I feel like somebody out there, what the pastors be saying, somebody out there heard that message.